When I was 5, I wanted to be a fireman.
I wanted to be a veterinarian. I couldn't even pronounce veterinarian, and I wanted to be one.
When I was 6, I wanted to be a truck driver.
I've always wanted to be a veterinarian.
When I was 8, I wanted to be an astronaut.
When you were 9, you wanted to be a professional ball player.
That was pretty good, too.
When you were 12, you wanted to be a rock star. Or was it a doctor?
No, I wanted to be a doctor. After that, I wanted to be an oceanographer.
You also wanted to be a forest ranger and a ship captain and a race car driver.
Yeah, and now I'm a sophomore in college, and I still don't know what I want to be.
I still want to be a veterinarian. And although I'm still only a sophomore, I'm already working toward it. In fact, I started back in high school about where you are now. I'm going to tell you what I did and how I'm going to become the best vet I can be.
These are the same steps I used in narrowing down my career choices and start working on my goals. I'll show you how I did it and how you can do it too.
Okay, let's get the details out of the way first. Most of it's pretty basic stuff about who you are and what you want.
Like how much money do I need to make to live the type of life I want?
You can find out what careers currently pay from lots of different places. Online, from printed materials, and from your #1 career information source, your guidance counselor.
Money isn't everything, and a large salary doesn't automatically mean success or happiness, but it is important. If you like to travel or you want a big house or a fancy car, you're going to have a higher paying salary than someone who's not concerned with those things.
Your personal qualities will also help you define what you want to do. Just ask yourself, what kind of person are you way down deep?
For instance, are you prompt and dependable or more easygoing? Are you happier when you are thinking or acting, sitting behind a desk or working outdoors?
If you'd rather work alone than with people, chances are you'll be happier in a career like forestry or research than you will in a career like sales or human resources.
Another question you're going to have to ask yourself, perhaps the most important question, is, what are my interests? What do I like doing enough to do it every day?
It's not really as hard as you might think. If you like science better than English, it's pretty obvious that you'll be happier in a career that depends on science knowledge, like medicine or oceanography or aeronautics, than you will in marketing or the arts or in law. If you like English, chances are you'll be happier in a teaching or writing or performing arts career. I'm just generalizing, of course.
You also need to factor in your aptitudes as well as your interests. A lot of guys want to be pro basketball players or rock stars, but very, very few have the aptitudes to succeed at it.
That doesn't mean you need to give up on your dream just because you're not super talented at something. Say you want to become a doctor, but you also love sports. Consider that you may be happiest looking into a career in sports therapy. That's just one example. And the same aptitude can often work for you in many different careers. A math aptitude can help you as much in retail as in teaching or in science and many, many other careers. But remember, you may be really good in a certain subject, but unless your grades reflect your ability, you may not get a chance to show how good you are.
Speaking of grades, we ought to mention the E word. No, not email, education. The amount of education you have for your career is important, very important. A career such as being a lawyer requires 4 years of high school, 4 years of college, and years of law school. Every day, the amount of careers that require higher education increases.
And every day, the jobs available to people without a high school diploma become fewer in number and more poorly paid and more dead-end.
Is there anything else you could do to help find the best career for your own personal needs and aptitudes? Well, sure. And we're about to get you started.
Go talk to someone who's already doing it. That's what we're going to do now.
We know some people who have turned their interests and aptitudes into rewarding and fulfilling careers.
And they're willing to give you an inside look at what they do for their job and what their job does for them.
We're going to start by going inside your computer and looking at a sample of new careers available in computing and multimedia today.
Hello, my name is David Jocelyn. I work for Moss Warner Communications. We develop computer games, and we also make many of the websites that you see out on the internet these days. In my career, I would call myself a creative director. I spend a lot of time working on prototypes, which are kind of mock-ups or beginnings of a project. I spend a lot of time talking to people about how they want the project to be, how they want it to look, how they want the different characters in it to act. In computer graphics, you're working with all sorts of different materials. You're working with the design, the layout, the tempo, the pace, the interactivity. When I first heard the career of a computer graphics professional, I felt like no matter what I did or no matter what kind of website or CD-ROM game there was out there, I'd always be creating something. I'd always make some art. The courses you could focus on if you want to be a computer graphics professional are, first you do the computer courses. You learn how to work in Photoshop, Illustrator, Adobe products, Macromedia products, just how to work on a computer, basically. I think the best thing you can do is learn how to learn. Learn how to go up on the internet and search for new knowledge. Learn how to go to the library. And then as far as the creative design portion, you need to have a really strong fundamental knowledge in design, light and shadow, contrast, composition, things like that. Look to the future. Try to figure out what's going to happen in the next 20 years. Remember, your career has to grow. It has to adapt. I think that the way the world changes and moves, you'll always be moving, you'll always be changing, you'll always be growing. That's where it comes back to learn how to learn. Learn how to be someone new today that you weren't yesterday. You'll always have a job then. I think right now, the thing that kids should focus on at an early age is if they like to do art and they like to do design, just do it, and do it a lot.
Engineering. Now, there's a career field that's popular today. In fact, there's very little physical, mechanical, or electrical improvement happening today that doesn't have an engineer behind it.
Engineers today work on everything, from cars to jet planes, from soft drink bottles to water slides, compact discs to the environment.
My name is Janet Finnemore. I work for Pratt & Whitney Military Engines. An engineer is somebody who creates things, makes things happen. Can build buildings, design a road, design a bridge. Engineers build aircraft engines. We build engines for